Storyblocks Audio. 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 Storyblocks Audio.
And he said, I say that with all respect. And he looked at me because that's what. Well, you don't believe me. You don't trust me. And they say, no, we don't. And then you get offended. Right? new man, this new of thinking. How do you do that? We're gonna learn that next week, but we're gonna go learn a little bit about this, putting on this new man. You know, this word. Let me see. Let me look at this word here. Forgot. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. So let me give you another scripture. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. I thought I put it here, but I guess not. I lost it. Can you believe that? Maybe I didn't put it. Give me a second, guys. Okay, I'll use this one. So, the battle is in the mind. In 2 Corinthians 10:4-5, it says like this. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. The mind. Casting down imaginations, that's the thoughts that you already have from the past, the thoughts that keep going through your mind. Casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against truth, against the knowledge of God. And we need to bring everything, every thought into the captivity of Christ. And what that means is that our minds, you know what's right and wrong. You know what's good and bad in a general sense. And I tell people, just start there. You know what's right and wrong. This is not rocket science. And so then all the scripture is saying is that that's the battle we have in our mind. When you know, you for some reason, we automatically want to do wrong because our mind is twisted in that direction. Your job is to fight against that and to say no, to bring it into captivity. See, this is the part that many people don't get. They don't want to work at it. This is why I don't like the idea of the program and what they teach today about recovery and drug addiction. That you're an addict and you can't do nothing about it. I don't believe that. You can do something about it. I had a good friend of mine. And let me give you a good example. Because what's happening in the recovery, the program arena nowadays is that there's so much help out there, but you have to keep going to meetings and keep believing, and you have to say you're an addict because you can never get rid of it. I don't believe that. I understand what they're saying. You can get rid of it if you look at it from a different perspective. There was a situation where this guy had been trying to get clean since he was 15. He's 30. He's been to about 10 rehabs. And so what they've taught him is, I'm an addict. And that's his excuse. I'm an addict. What he's telling me is that he doesn't want to fight. Who's been an addict here? I have. How did you stop? How did you stop? Think about it for a minute. Some of us came to church and stopped instantly, but that doesn't happen to everybody. Right? Go ahead.
Well, I came in 1994. And they had told me about Christ, Jesus, right? And I said, that's holy rollys and all that stuff, right? I had my religion. But on December 94, I told my wife, you know what, I confessed to her what I was. And we didn't even go inside the church, outside in the parking lot. I called a brother out, and he came and he prayed with me out there in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. And I was set free. Alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, everything. But the road to recovery was, yes, I got set free, But there were things that I had to do to continue staying there where I was at.
Yeah.
Which
The
is
fight.
talking to people, ministering to them, going to service, going to church, sharing my testimony to others and everything, praying, main thing, praying, reading my Bible. And to this day, I give him all the glory because I'm set free. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be a matter of how you see it. Because I can look at it like this, and this is how I look at it. I'm a sinner. I'm selfish. And I like getting high. That's what's called an addict. Does that make sense to anybody? I'm a sinner. I'm selfish. And I like getting high. That's called being an addict. So we need forgiveness, number one. We need to stop using, even if you like it. And that's why it's so important to come to places like this, to church. Just you have to fight it. You have to fight it. Just like you would fight it in a program. You have to fight it in church. You have to fight it in prayer. You have to fight it. And yes, your sinfulness is never going to go away. You need Christ. See, there's a solution. And so this one person, he's already 30 years old, about 10 rehabs, stealing from his grandmother. And he actually just told her, well, you should know I'm an addict. Why? Because that's what addicts do. No, what I see is a selfish, self-centered person that doesn't want to fight to change. Is it hard, brother? You better believe it. You better believe it. If it weren't, we'd have full house. It's a monster. So I'm not degrading the fact that it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have to fight. The weapons of our warfare, it's a fight. It's a war. It's a war for your mind, for your beliefs. They're not carnal. They're not physical. But they're mighty through God. The weapons that we use, prayer, belief, coming to church. Paul the Apostle went through this. He was a wicked man. Did you know that? Paul the Apostle was a wicked man. He killed people. Imagine back then it was wicked stuff. And so then when he got saved, when God called him, he had this thing going on, and maybe you've read the scriptures and you didn't quite understand them. Let me read it to you. It's in Romans 7:21 and 25. This is the battle in the Christian mind right here. In the addict mind right here. Yeah, you're fighting. Man, I want to use. No. You have to fight. I can't put it more simpler than that. Listen to what Paul said. Can you see the fight there? He's fighting. And this is what I'm talking about. Not talking about being perfect. Not talking about not making mistakes. I'm not talking about not falling. But man, if you've fallen 5, 10 times, 15 times, if you're 40 and 50 years old and you can't get it, something's wrong. And that's why I appreciate you, Mr. Ramos. Really, I'm serious. Because a man your age, it gives up. So I want you to know I appreciate you. That's why I call you. That's why I'm trying to help you. Because I believe it's possible. And this is what we're talking about. What you believe. So then, anybody have anything to say here? So we're gonna close for the last few minutes and talk about the mind. This is a part of of this session that I like, because many of you understand how the mind works. You've seen it before that I talk about here. I talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Who's seen me talk about that already? You? Anybody else? So this is because now I'm gonna help you understand it from a scientific perspective. Ay, Jesús. Almate. So the mind, and next week we're going to talk about how to renew it. But you have to understand this first. And by the way, let me do a little intermission here. We're talking about the mind here and everything that we're talking about. Next week, we're going to have some food here. All right? Somebody liked it. Who was that? And so what I want you to do is I want you to bring somebody. Family. Well, no, it could be a friend, a wife, a girlfriend, a mother. Somebody. Bring somebody. We're going to eat. I'm going to share a couple things. I won't put you on the spot, I promise. But we're going to have some food here. So I want you to invite somebody. I'm going to invite a couple of guys that have been here before that are doing great out there. So I want you to keep that in mind. Yeah? So now let me put you on the spot. Who's going to come? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Man, everybody's going to come. That's awesome. So I know I have at least 12 people. So I'm going to bring food for 24. So you better bring somebody. Probably going to be more than that, but. So bring somebody. You think you can bring somebody? Who thinks they can bring somebody? Mr. Rambo, you think you can bring somebody? Okay, there you go. Let's think positive. Yeah? All right. All right. Well, but you're on the monitor, right? Okay. From 12 in the morning to 10 at night? Every day? Okay. Okay. Well, you know where the church is? Yeah. Oh, you mean 12 noon to 10 o'clock at night? The evening service. And Wednesday service. There you go. No excuse. He says he's coming Wednesday and evening. So there you go, guys. You know what? Since I'm here, let me put out let's go ahead and pass out around our donation bucket. That way we can pay for the food next week. Yeah, well, somebody has to pay for it. Choose the Change pays for it. All right. So we're talking about how important the mind is. So let me talk about the mind a little bit, so you can remember. So and take this as a reminder. And those of you that have seen this for the first time, just know the mind. We have two basic parts of the mind: the subconscious, right? Conscience. I learned how to spell it. My wife taught me how to spell it, which is this part right here, and the conscience. That's how you spell it. Conscience. Thank you, Mom. Conscious, which is the smaller part. This is the 10% to 15%. You know what? Let me do it. This one right here is 10 to 15% of your mind. This one right here is 85 to 90%. So your subconscious mind is your biggest part of your mind. While the smallest part of your mind, which is this part right here, which is 50, the smallest part of your mind. And so then now you're going to know why it's so hard and why it's such a big fight, why you struggle so much. Because, and this gets deeper. I've studied this for years now, and it just gets really deep in how we're just so twisted. The other day they told me the name of it, something about the neural pathways. Anybody remember that? The neurotransmitters. And so in other words, we've been living a certain way for so long. We've been doing drugs for so long. You know what I mean? We're wired this way. And you're wired in your subconscious. So let me explain this for a minute. Conscious and subconscious. Your conscious mind is what you're using right now. It's the smallest part of your mind. You're thinking, you're listening, you're watching me. This is what you're using right now. We use this only when we're conscious, awake. This is the only way we use it. This is where you find your logical thinking. Right now you're thinking, okay, where's this guy going with this? Your short-term memory. Just you know. And also this is where you'll find willpower. We find it in right here. The smallest part of your mind. Willpower. Who's ever tried to use willpower and you fail all the time? It's really hard to use willpower. Some people can, very few. But if all you're using is willpower, you're going to eventually fall flat on your face. Eventually. It takes up too much. So, because when willpower tries to control behavior and habits and beliefs, it always loses out to the more powerful subconscious. So let me explain that. So you all got that? Smallest part of your mind. That's the one you're using right now. You only use it when you're awake. Now let me explain the subconscious, which is the largest part. And this is really why I'm trying to help you understand this and why it's so hard to change, why you have so much trouble, why you're so twisted, why it's so hard. It's because everything is in here. All your habits, everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever heard, everything you've ever believed, everything is in there. Since the day you were born, it's in your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is like a warehouse of information. It's like the cloud, the internet. We look stuff up, the cloud brings it. I can ask you, where did you go to school? I can listen, I can put a song on. In fact, let's try that. So I can show you how the subconscious works. You all ready for this? If I put this song on, what comes to your mind? Let's see. Chavarria? What comes to your mind? I don't know. You tell me. How about this one? Something's triggered. No? I need to put some rock, some what? Some hip hop. You know what? I don't have any. Es que this is me. This is ¿Cuál? A ver, vamos a ver. No, I don't have any. About country. Country, vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. How about this?
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone.
Nobody, bro. You're not. Nobody's old enough here. Mas. So, my point is, you listen or you hear or you smell something. It triggers something. It comes from the subconscious. You see your ex-dealer. You think about your ex-dealer. Something is triggered. A breakup, a girlfriend, a death in the family. You remember something. That's where the subconscious comes from. That's where it all comes from the subconscious. How you were born, how you were raised, what your mom and dad taught you, or whoever brought you up, the things you went through, the abuse, the shame. All those things are right here. They don't go anywhere. They're there. It's interesting. That's why they tell us that many times we block out so many things, because there's no way you can be thinking of all these things at the same time. You'll go crazy. And this is why people get depressed, because they dive into their subconscious. And what you focus on is how you're going to feel. What you focus on is who you are. You have to understand that. Drug addiction. It's in there. It's used to it. There's a Dr. Lipton, he says, your life is simply just an expression of the programming in your subconscious. He goes to say that 85 to 95% of your life comes from the subconscious. That's where it comes from. That's why you act the way you act. That's why you live the way you live. That's why you believe the way you believe. Because as long as you don't renew it, like I've been doing this for years, so my mind is renewed now. Sermon and teachings and books, and because that's all I have now. I reprogrammed. Now I feel sorry for him. You see what I'm saying? 23:7 says, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's what it says. The subconscious mind. So, if this is true, and we'll talk about this following week, the question would be, how do you change it? Right? Wouldn't that be a good question to ask? How do we transform and renew the subconscious? Does anybody want to tell me? Maybe you know? Nobody? Nobody has no idea how to do it? Okay, what? Give her the mic.
Repetitiveness. To repeat things over and over again.
Repeat things over and over again. So what things, though?
Your habits, new habits.
So new habits.
New habits.
So the key to changing that's one key to your mindset is if you keep on thinking, this is where the fight comes in. So if you keep on thinking about drugs, let's say, because all of us here have gone through this in this battle. Then if all you're thinking is drugs, then what you have to change is that thinking. You have to literally force yourself, right? Abel.
Basically, not to be conformed to this world, just stay rooted to the word. I'm a recovering addict, but I know that recovering addicts, it's a lifelong thing. Recovery is a lifelong thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, it's one day at a time. But without God, I don't believe that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just not to be, conformed to this world. As far as, like you said, the music's a trigger. Believe it or not, for me.
A huge one.
And smelling, like, for me, my drug of choice used to be marijuana. And like me and you had a private conversation, and that's a trigger for me. So
right.
I'm just blessed to be down here and not be, back in my old city and stuff like that. But yeah, just be not conformed to is what I think.
And so the question would be, then how do you transform? That's my question. Go ahead. Yeah, but what steps? That's what I'm trying to get to. Where, what? See, we know it in theory. You see what I'm saying? We can come up with ideas in theory. But how do you do it in actuality?
Discipline.
It'll take discipline to do it.
Actually, believe in yourself too. Now, not having one doubt in your mind. I know that's the hardest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, discipline is the way to do it. But consistency, like she was saying, and
So let me write these down, and I'll get you. So you said, be not conformed to this world, right? Not conformed to world. And discipline, belief in yourself, right? Is that what you said? You said one more. I can't remember what it was. What else? Anybody can think? You were going to say something, bros? Abel, yeah. Okay. Have faith, okay. That's one of the triggers. Yes.
You're going to have to make up your mind whether you want to change whatever it is or not. So jumping in, stop making excuses and just jump in.
Just jump in, make up your mind. Jump in. No self-doubt. Anybody want to add something? So, don't listen. That's my whole point. Don't listen to the voices. The naysayers, the ones that say no, the one that talk down at you, so yes. So all this is true. But I was learning all this. And I was saying, well, something's missing. How do I not conform to the world? How do I discipline in what? What I've brought up to you is that our problem is the subconscious mind, which is really keeping us from moving forward. And then because of all the mess we have in there, because of all the bad habits we have in there, because of all the bad thoughts we have in there, because of all the mess that we have in there, the regret, the pain, the self-doubt, just all the times we failed before. We have to be repetitive. I forgot that one, right? Repetitive. I don't know how to spell it, but there you go. Repetitive doing what? And so then I'll answer that question right after Pastor Ramos. Oye, espérate.
No, I just want to do a quick disclosure here. Back in 1992, one of the times that I was being incarcerated, Orlando, I met up with this pastor in Harlingen, right? Have you? In Blase, right? But I'm looking for change. So I always remain hopeful. And then finally, this time around, right? I met up with chapter 12 of Romans, verse 2. It says, "Do not be conformed by the renewal, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." I said, "Hold up, Lord, hold on, what's going on here?" "Yes, son, you accepted me, but you're still thinking with your subconscious, my son."
Yep.
He goes, "Okay, Lord, well, what about this body of mine?" He goes, "When you accepted me, your body is not saved, it's flesh.
That's right.
Your mind, you're still thinking your old thoughts, my son. When you got saved, yes, your spirit. You're in my hands. You're good to go. I've been preserving you. I've been with you. I've been sending angels before and behind you."
That's right.
But hold on, Lord. Hold on. You told me that my thoughts, my mind is not saved. No, your mind, no. A carnal mind is enmity towards God.
That's what it says.
And your body is flesh. It's not saved. It's
That's
corrupted. It's decaying. It's spiraling 6
That's
feet
the
under.
sin.
So,
That's the addicted
So you
one.
need to go ahead and discipline. You need to go ahead and sacrifice your body daily and so forth and so forth. Thank you.
So with that in mind, that's perfect. Yeah, give him a hand. Almate, brother. Jesus. That's exactly what it takes.
So that's why I'm 60 years old and I finally got it.
There you go. He finally got it. He says he's 60 years old and he finally got it. So I'm gonna give you these steps right here, then we're gonna talk about them in the next couple of weeks. Here's your tangible things you need to do. Number one, you have to protect your mind. Remember, so how do you do that? Discipline yourself to protect your mind. Jump right in to protect your mind. Don't conform to this world. Discipline yourself not to conform, to whatever your thoughts are. So protect your mind from these thoughts. Yes, sir.
I don't know if this ties up to it, but in the beginning of 12, it says, "I beseech you." And that word beseech you, he's not just saying I beg you, but he's saying let's war. He's asking like, let's come beside me, let's war together.
Yep.
You have to war towards to be able to transform your mind or to be disciplined enough.
Well, I'm going to tell you how to do this. I'm going to tell you
So
how
that's
to do
what
it.
that word beseech means.
First, you have to start protecting your mind. So what does that mean? Guard it from what? From the thoughts that you're having? You have to from what comes into your mind. The music. What you're watching. Pornography. You see what I'm saying? You have to stop the junk. Your homeboys, if you have homeboys that's still giving you, that's not what you want to be hearing. You have to protect your mind. We'll go more into it. The second thing you have to do is feed your mind. Remember, I'm giving you some tangible things you need to do. How do you feed your mind? Reading the Word, praying, going to church, reading. Period. Reading. Listening to podcasts. Listening to positive things. I've picked up the habit of listening to 20 minutes to 30 minutes of positive personal development training in my mind. Every morning, that's what I listen to. I'm always training my mind. I understand how powerful this is. Because if you don't discipline yourself to feed your mind, then what's going to take over is your subconscious and everything else in this world. That's why it says, don't be conformed to this world. There's a lot of things crying out for your attention. Radio, music, women, everything in the way, just everything. And so then you have to discipline to Feed your mind positive things. Learn something. Read about marriage. Read about children. Read about addiction. Read whatever, but read something. Feed your mind. And then the other ones, you need to get involved. You have to, you mentioned that. Somebody mentioned that. The other one is associations. And we're going to talk about these, all associations. And the other one is prayer and thanksgiving. And giving thanks. That's the how. That's the how. If you're not doing this, you're not changing. How powerful is that? That's how it is. So that's why I see you coming, Mr. Ramos. I see you continue. And I don't know if you're protecting. That's up to you. There you go. Then you have to keep feeding. You have to come to church. You're getting involved. You're building new relationships, associations. And I'm believing that you're praying and being thankful. Okay, that's going to take a lot of time and effort, a lot of discipline, a lot of belief, a lot of faith. And I'll be honest with you, it's going to take years.
Why is that, Orlando? I think because the addiction has been a very
Give them the.
The Apostle Paul described a stronghold like a big old fortress on the top of a mountain.
That's right.
To get up there and conquer it's going to be real hard because it's got walls around it, right? It's
Yep.
a stronghold.
That's what this is.
That's what that is. So my addiction was God can remove strongholds. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna cover all of this in the next couple of weeks. Not next week because we're gonna eat next week. I'm gonna share a few things. But I appreciate you guys coming to me. I hope I helped you today. And you just got to keep believing in the impossible. All right? That's all I have tonight. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. We have food next